Welcome Cancer to your in-depth weekly forecast for week commencing the 22nd of April for the Ascendant, the Sun or the Moon. On the screen now I'm showing the event chart which provides the backdrop for the whole week. Now last week we saw that glittering conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus, which for you occurred in the 11th house, very much to do with your connections to others, your network, your friendships, but also your highest aspirations. It's a pretty idealistic combination, and the Sun moved to join them last week too. Now, ordinarily, that would see you pretty focused on reaching out to others. Perhaps your social situation would take an uptick. But we need to be mindful of the role of Pluto, because Pluto squares up to the Sun. And that suggests there could be some politics in the mix. If your desire to steer your future direction isn't quite meshing with someone close to you, or the need for finance to really manifest what's truly important to you is limited at the present time, as we go into the full moon on Tuesday, you could be quite conscious of that. But it's a full moon that does give you gifts, because it's in your sister water sign of Scorpio. The 5th house is very much about you showcasing your unique talents, your creativity, your passion. The 11th house is more about where we lean into the needs of other people. And perhaps you could feel that your personal opportunities may be in some ways blunted by other demands. But Pluto does T-square the two positions of the Sun and the Moon. So over the next couple of weeks, it does suggest there could be a little bit of politics, especially if you're in a close relationship, whether it's a business partnership, a family relationship, or romantically, where your need to move forwards and develop your situation in some ways is blunted or inhibited by someone else having a different approach or a different set of values to you, or perhaps that finance, which is important, is not quite there. But do take hope, Cancer, because Mars, the planet of desire, but also the planet of intense passion, continues in your 9th house, which is a very buccaneering part of your chart for Mars to be, and he's forging a very impressive link with Jupiter still as this week begins, and the two are high energy. So even if you do need to marshal your time carefully as you toggle the demands of others or what you want to do with that full moon, that particular aspect is one of the best you can have in astrology for really going for it. And because you are a very caring sign, and back to that wheel, you can see the moon does start the week in house 4, and that really connects to your instinct of protection and nurture. But sometimes it is important to be a bit more daring, and that combination between Jupiter and Uranus is urging you to cut free from things that have held you back in the past, whether it's self-limiting thinking, whether you have got some people around you who are quite conservative. I think more radical approaches and people who are more exciting are really going to grip you in times to come. And that can also be true of your work. Now, you can see in your 10th house, we do have the retrograde Mercury pretty close to the North Node. And that just suggests that it's important to listen to your instincts, because by the end of this week, Mercury is going to be connecting to Venus in an extremely positive way. And if you did need to speak to someone, do a presentation, send in an application, come up with some new approach in your own business or enterprise, or speak to someone in terms of raising that finance, the combination between Mercury and Venus is about as good as it gets when it comes to charm and persuasion. And Mercury coming out of its retrograde is also going to be very, very helpful to that process. You can also see that Venus is very close to Chiron as we start this week. Your instincts in terms of marshalling money, Venus, but also relationships, in terms of that caring instincts that's very much part of you, can actually be qualities that someone can become very mindful of as this week goes on. Cancer, we found that 55% of people who watch my videos are not subscribers. If you are one of them, please support my channel by clicking that subscription, and also the bell notification link as well. Every time I drop a video, you'll get an alert. But for now, it's been a real pleasure being with you. Have a great week and take care.